From the grill that's been serving up legends since 1929, welcome to With or Without, a podcast from Bill's Hamburgers where great conversations and great burgers both happen. All right, we're here with Without Podcast, first episode. Today, we've got Brad Blalock in the house. He is famous for being multiple hats those guys worn through his life. We're going to get to hear all about that good stuff. Before we get started with that, we're going to make some burgers. We're going to sit down and eat some burgers, and we'll go from there. But Brad, appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to it.
Well, first questions first. How do you like your burger?
Man, I like my medium.
Medium?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit of pink on the inside.
All right. Well, we're doing smash burgers, as always, so it's going to be a little hard to control the medium well.
I'm just going to have to leave then. I guess it's just not going to
All
work
right.
out.
So first episode, shortest episode in podcasting history. It was one and done.
Look, I'm going to leave it up to you. I trust you. You're the executive chef of this
Executive
story.
chef. That's a term very loosely used currently. So Cooper up at Forklift, formerly a Forklift. Now apparently he's at, if Cooper sees this, good luck to you in your new venture at Harvey's. But he is truly an executive chef. I just make burgers for a living.
Yeah.
So, you want a single, double, triple? What are we talking?
Man, let's just do a single tonight.
All right. Well, you can do a single. I'm going to do a double. And, we'll let men be men and boys be boys. And we'll go from there. But, yeah, so we'll keep it pretty fresh and light while we're here cooking. But appreciate you coming down. So you want to explain to us some of these hats you've worn? Because I know when I first met you, you were in your attorney era, as Taylor Swift would say. But before that, I mean, am I mistaken? Youth pastor?
That is correct.
Okay. So you want to start at youth pastor?
Yeah, I mean, I could start there. I could start at how I arrived here.
Let's do that actually.
Okay.
Let's start on the beginning of the roadmap.
Sure. We'll start on the beginning. So originally from Alcorn County, graduated from Kossuth High School back in and then went to college at a couple of different places. Went to Ole Miss to start with. Went to Freed-Hardeman University up in around the Jackson, Tennessee area, in Henderson, Tennessee. And then was interviewing for jobs as a youth minister and came across Amory. Amory rang a bell because growing up in Kossuth, we played Amory in football and baseball, things like that. So I was familiar with the area.
Were you a stellar athlete in high school?
Absolutely. Anybody that sees this is going to recognize me as being like absolute amazing.
Did you play against any pros, future pros or anything?
I was not all that great. Names like, Joe Gunn, ring a bell.
Okay.
Rufus French, guys like that that stood out at Amory Athletics. They were in my age range, so to speak.
Okay.
But no, man, I got here from Freed-Hardeman. I think I came here in the summer of 1999 as a intern for the Amory Church of Christ at the corner of the Concord and Boulevard. Did that, graduated in 2000, came here as a full-time youth minister, was here for about a year and a half or so, and ended up going back to work on a master's degree in education because I thought I was going to be a coach. And
what sport?
Baseball.
Okay, so baseball was the passion then.
Baseball was the passion and the love. I'm 12 hours away from having a master's degree in education.
Wow. So you're pretty deep down the road at this point.
Deep down the road, have a wild hair to go sit for the LSAT. Went and sat for the LSAT, did fairly well on it. Got accepted into Ole Miss Law School, and came to Amory came back to Amory, I guess, as an attorney for Moffitt Law Firm. Worked for TK Moffitt for a year, went out on my own. Did that for a few years. I think I went out on my own around 2006, 2007. And then I had another wild hair to run for mayor. Do tell. Yeah.
I had a soiree into those kind of things. Yeah. Mine didn't go quite as well as yours did.
Politics.
At the beginning, anyway. Yours may have ended about the way mine did.
Politics is fun. I got into the mayoral race, never really expecting to win.
Who'd you run against?
I ran against Tommy Wilkerson and Thomas Griffith, who had been
the mayor
a very long time
for a long time.
Mayor.
Like my whole life, essentially. My ex-wife, Tommy, is her cousin, so that's why I remember that. And they had a prominent furniture store in town. So the Wilkerson last name is a very well-known name in town, and Tommy's a super nice guy. I've never had a bad instance with Tommy, but I remember that.
Yeah.
So so that's really, that race you ran in.
Really clean campaign too. No big complaints about anything like that. Never really expected to win. I was like, worst case scenario, my name gets out there a little more prominently.
Good for business.
Good for business, right? And I won. So, so I was mayor from 2013 to 2021. I got what I like to call diselected in 2021. And after that, I have pursued a career in financial services and do a lot of holistic financial planning now, and have actually taken on a new role about a year and a half now as a managing partner. So now I recruit, hire, and train financial representatives to complete financial plans for individuals and businesses and mom and pop shops like this one. So that's where I am. And as far as what I'm going to be doing next year, I haven't made my mind up yet.
Yeah. So you're only like 30. So you've had all these careers in a rough 10. Well, law school probably 24. So in 6 years you've had multiple careers. But I mean, so there's a couple of questions I have about a couple of those jobs. First and foremost, before we get into that, what do you want on your burger?
Man, I think I'll just do cheese and some mustard on the bun.
Mustard. All right. So no famous Bill's hot sauce. Shameless plug. Bill's hot sauce made in house. Chef's kiss. Cooper would chef's kiss because I'm not a chef. But you said mustard and cheese. That's it.
That's it.
All right. Keep it simple. So anyway, so back to these careers. So I know you said you got diselected. I don't have any. Of course, I have been asked to not come back to work at places before, so I'm assuming it has to be somewhat like that. I've never officially been fired. For the record, never been fired, never been terminated. I have been surplused. That's one of the words we use, surplus. And I have been asked not to come back to work. I've never been technically fired.
Yeah, what's really good is when you get fired by 7,000 people publicly.
Oh,
that's really fun.
Yeah. Well, me running for office last year was, let's just put it, a humbling experience, because you get a lot of people telling you, oh, we're all for you, we're voting, we're doing this, we're doing that. And then the votes get tallied and you're like, let's just hypothetically say, which is probably close to mine, out of the 2,000 people that voted, I think I got 300 votes.
Right.
And so I'm just like, I spoke to way more than 300 people that said.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, had you been elected, they all would have voted for you.
That's true.
You would have gotten 100% of the vote.
That
because
is
once
true.
you took office, everybody would have voted for you. I voted for you, and I need you to do this for me because I voted for you.
That's true.
So.
Okay. All right. Well, it turns out over the last year, it's probably a bit of a blessing. I actually didn't, because business has taken off. We're looking at a second location. So we got some other stuff going on that I don't know I would have had quite the time for had I been in office, especially with tornado recovery and the millions of dollars flowing into the city. And the folks in charge are doing a great job handling all that. So yeah, it turned out to be quite a blessing. But we're going to get more into these careers in just a second. We're going to transition though, because these burgers are ready. So let's sit down, grab a bite, and we'll get to work on the rest of this.
Sounds good, man.
All right. So we made our little transition over to the bar side, but we were talking about careers. We were talking about being diselected, and I went on and talked about my infamous run at public office and how abysmal of a showing I put up. But again, it doesn't mean I won't do it again in 3 years, because I'm a little bit of a masochist. So
sure. I mean, I know several people that run every time that they possibly can, whether they get 10 votes or 15 votes.
There was a couple of those this last time too. I'm really bad about, so I have no shame myself. I don't care. I'm just the kind of person, clearly by putting this stuff out, like, I don't care. I'll embarrass myself. I'll embarrass my kids, whatever. But a flaw of mine is I get secondhand embarrassment terribly for others. And so whether it was the 10 vote turnout or anything else like that, like, I get really bad secondhand embarrassment for folks. And so that was probably, it was harder for me to watch some of these people's other vote rolls than, I mean, I was embarrassed by my turnout, don't get me wrong, but some of them I was just like, yikes.
Before the pod started, we were discussing The Office.
Yeah.
I would get embarrassed sometimes watching The Office.
Yeah.
Just because of the ickiness of some of the relationships and what was about to happen or what was about to be said. You would just have this like, a moment, yeah, I get exactly what you're saying. Like, have this secondhand embarrassment.
God, it's the worst feeling in the world. Just specifically on what you just said, there was a Facebook reel today that showed up. Michael Scott, the hot chick that came to the office selling purses, and he's like, "Do you like mints?" And he gave her a mint, and she's like, "Yeah, do you want one?" And handed it to him, and he ate it off her hand. I was just like, "Oh God!" Like I could, and she of course she rebuffed it, and he's just like, "I'm so sorry," but it's like, oh, that feeling, and then having it in real life is it's the worst. But we're talking about careers. You got deselected, but that transitions you into,
financial services.
Services.
I mean, kind of like what you were saying at the grill a moment ago. It really was a blessing. I'm only 27 years old.
Correct.
And look at my hair, man.
We're kind of matching today a little bit. I'm not gonna say.
It was so long and black.
That is true. I remember that.
The mayoral time in the mayor's office turned it all white. But
did you fix the flooding by chance?
Absolutely. Is there still a problem?
No, I haven't noticed any. I just didn't know if to give you the credit for that or the next mayor or the current mayor. I didn't know who to thank. I want to look into the camera and say, thank you. The Amory doesn't flood anymore. Brad Blalock. Brad Blalock, 2028 question mark?
And bless his heart, when Corey took office and had to deal with the tornado, I was very thankful I was not in office then, but I did feel for him having to deal with all that. But up until then, I called myself the mayor of natural disasters because for like a couple of years, it seemed like it rained like every third day of the week. Winter, spring, summer, and fall, it did that. And so there were certain areas of town that consistently flooded. And I hate to, be the bearer of bad news, but I don't think that will ever get solved.
No. So contextually, for those who don't know, Amory literally sits in a hole. We have hills around the entire city, and everything funnels down into Amory. So when it rains, there's nowhere for the water to go. It's very down in the hill, but then also flat, and so the water drains very poorly. In fact, in this restaurant, if it rains more than a couple of inches, enough to get over the curb, my restaurant floods. I'm still blame Brad, but I'm just saying it happens. So that's why when I make the joke of did you fix the flooding, it's something that I saw on Facebook every time it rained. The city and Brad's fault that people's yards were flooded.
And we tried to do what we could, and I'm sure we could have done more, done some more engineering studies, but those things are pretty expensive. And then when they do the study and they come back and tell you, you can potentially fix this for $11 billion. And then you're stuck with the option of, okay, great, we have the solution, but it's, I don't know how to make that work.
It was that or a splash pad, Brad. You had to pick. And clearly we chose right because we got a splash pad and a playground.
Yeah. Well, there's a slush fund for a water park as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot. The water park's coming and the go-kart track's coming at some point too.
That's right. That's right. But no, it was a huge blessing in disguise. Of course, it stings. You're aware.
I'm very aware.
It stings to say like, hey, you're not doing a very good job. We don't want you there anymore.
Yeah.
But at the same time, man, I missed out on a whole lot with my family.
Yep.
I dealt with a lot of stress. I am a people pleaser, so trying to find the right answer all the time was slowly killing me. I didn't eat right. I didn't sleep very well. My health was taking a nosedive. I was not in a great condition most of the time.
Sure.
And I didn't realize it while I was in it, but when I was out of it, I realized how anxious and stressed out I was all the time.
It became your new norm.
It did.
To operate in that world.
It really did.
Yeah.
And get home at night, and by night I mean night.
Yes.
Get home at night, and Cooper was 7 years old, I think. I think he was 7 when I took office. So and I was in office for 8 years.
Yeah.
So you think about all the things that a child goes through between 7 and what's 8 plus
15,
7?
I think.
15.
Yeah. You're the money guy. I don't know.
I have to take my shoes off.
Math and money.
But the things that you miss out on from that age, I got to be a part of some of it, but, bless Candy's heart, she's just as busy as I am. But somehow we made it work. The two of us figured out a way to, make sure he got picked up and taken to all the things he was participating in. He was a rock star with everything that he did, so he made it easy from a child standpoint. But another blessing that came out of that is there's also a lot of things that go on between 15 and 18.
Yeah.
And so when I no longer was in office as mayor, I got closer to my son than I've ever been. And it was awesome.
He's at that fun age too, though, where he's like not an adult, but like smart enough to at least understand adult decisions and things. So
that's correct.
Yeah.
He put on his wings as a guitar player. around about COVID, and so a year later, I'm around him more now, and so we get to play music together. He has the same sense of humor that I do, that highbrow comedy type stuff.
Yes,
So he enjoys watching the same type of stuff that I watch. So we compare notes and all that.
Okay.
Loves sports, so I love sports. So we watch sports together. He keeps up with it a little bit more than I do. But another blessing came out of it was I got to spend more time with him and create a relationship that there's nothing I can do to be any more grateful than I can be for that.
Well, to circle back on some of that though, like, you know, you'd mentioned Candy, which for those who don't know, that's your wife. She's also an attorney, which is also how I know you as well, because Brad has handled legal situations for me as an attorney. He actually manages some of my finances now, but now that I know 8 and 7's a problem for addition, now that seems like a questionable decision on my end. But so far the returns have been decent. But Candy handled a divorce of mine. So for those who are out there, I'm divorced, yes. But she handled that. So 2 attorneys. One was a mayor and an attorney at the time. I mean, like I said, I can assure, you know, those out there, that was probably a very hectic time in y'all's life. Just, you know, passing each other in the mornings as y'all leave, kind of stuff.
It is, and, you know, to kind of even go further with her, not only is she an attorney, she is also an elected official.
Oh, yeah, the county attorney.
Yeah, she is the county prosecuting attorney for Monroe County. So it was a kind of a weird setup because the county elections are a year different than the city elections.
Oh, wow, so they're offset.
So every 3 years we were in campaign mode. Either she was running or I was running, and so it was just a constant battle. And, you know, when you're elected to something, it doesn't matter if you're elected to dog catcher or whatever.
You want to do it well.
You want to do well, but you also live in a glass house. Yeah. You know, your business is everybody's business. All at one time.
Yeah.
And I can remember, I think it was like 2015 or 16, we had a really bad snowstorm that knocked a lot of the power out. And I can remember I was at a conference. It was actually, funny enough, it was at a TVA conference in Nashville. And this happens. And I was there with our utilities manager at the time. It was Tony Swan. And we were discussing stuff. And we were taking calls and trying to manage from Nashville because we couldn't get back. And people were calling in and complaining about, you know, gunshots all over the neighborhoods, and we were having to explain, hey, you know, that's utility crews out with shotguns and birdshot trying to knock the ice off the lines. And anyway, so there's a power outage is widespread. So I called my wife and I was like, hey, how's the power? She's like, we're the only people on our street that have power. I said, turn all the lights out, go in the back of the house, turn one lamp on. I was like, the last thing we need is that, you know, everybody's power's out.
Mayor's getting priority treatment over
Mayor's
here.
Getting priority treatment. I had no idea how that happened.
Did you make her cut the heat off too, though? She's like, if everyone's suffering, we're suffering.
Well, lucky enough, she's like me. You know, we keep the house on about, 48 degrees, so it's fine.
She's opened the windows. I get it. I'm the same way. It's got to be 45 or below in my bedroom to sleep at night.
Sure.
Well, transition through all the careers. Circle back. Shout out to Candy Blalock. But when you brought up Cooper and put on his wings as a guitarist, that's a career you didn't speak of earlier, which is as a part-time musician between whether it's your band with good friend Kim Coleman, mutual friend Kim Coleman, by the way, shout out to Kim Coleman as well. But you and Cooper got to do a lot of music together. You got to sneak him into a lot of 18 and older venues as an under 18 because he's in the band. That's right. You can't turn the talent away.
That's right.
So how does it go from you like to pick around on the guitar to Cooper somehow is like a savant now, and Kim like self-taught how to play drums and sing. So how do you transition from youth pastor to attorney to somewhere in that area musician to then still while doing financial services? How does one make a shift like that?
So I've been playing guitar since I was about 13 years old. So I had played for quite some time. I don't consider myself a phenomenal guitarist or anything, but I had been in bands as either a rhythm player or a singer or both or whatever, but I'd never played anything very, very difficult. Yeah. We all played Brown Eyed Girl, and we played Friends in Low Places and stuff like that everybody hears. And so moved to Amory, didn't know anybody to really talk to about playing. Years went by, I played with a few different people. Kim moves in, I find out that he's a musician, so he and I began to play a little bit. He played bass at the time, I played guitar, and it was I figured out a long time ago, if you can't be good, be funny. So it really started out more like a comedy act with music that went along with it. And somewhere along the way, we added Michael Freed, Bubba, as a drummer.
Yeah.
And same kind of vibe, funny a little bit. different takes on different songs. And we even came up with a name, Colors That End in Urple, based off a Saturday Night Live sketch where basically they're making fun of celebrities for being stupid, and the things on the Jeopardy board are listed as colors that end in Urple. So anyway, I thought that was funny, so that's where we came up with a name. So we start playing limitedly at festivals and a few venues here and there. Well, right before COVID, when we were planning for the Railroad Festival in 2020, we had this idea. I was like, Cooper's starting to play guitar. He's pretty good. He's pretty decent. And Kim was like, well, let's add a couple of songs because it'd be great to have two guitar players. I can play off of one another. So we began to practice a little bit, and then COVID ruined all that. So as the time went on, Cooper continued to play. I started to realize, I never told him because I didn't want him to think that he was good.
For sure.
And so as time goes on, he starts playing things. I'm like, how is he doing that? Like, what is going on? So Kim gets back in touch with me. Bubba had begun with Chad Houston, the Gemstone, at that point in time, and he kind of stepped away from the band. And I told Kim, I was like, Cooper could probably come in and play bass. Like, if you'll learn how to play drums, Cooper could come in and play bass. I'll play guitar, and we'll just keep rocking and rolling like we were. So Cooper comes in as the bass player. And within about 2 weeks, the transition happens that Cooper's no longer the bass player. He's the guitarist. I'm the bass player.
You've been demoted to bassist,
and Kim plays drums. But we began to play songs that I could never fathom playing when I was younger. We started playing old school metal stuff. We played Iron Maiden, we played Megadeth, we played Metallica, just all this stuff that's very technical and honestly pretty difficult stuff to play. I still can't play it. I can play it on bass. But Cooper just kind of took off, and it just sort of gelled into this thing, and the comedy sort of went away, and we just sort of became like an actual band. Yeah. And then we actually got pretty good. I say we. Cooper got really good, and Kim and I stood in the shadows.
Y'all did really good at propping him up. It's a group effort.
We were the, nobody ever thinks of, about Jimi Hendrix, the two guys that backed him up.
Nobody knows Steve and Jim.
Everybody thinks Jimi Hendrix was just phenomenal. No, man, it was the two guys that backed him up. They were great. Everybody knows that.
Well,
but no, that's sort of where it came from. And then Cooper hasn't left the band, but him being in college is
on hiatus.
Yeah, it's on a resting situation right now. But we still play at home. He's sort of switching genres on me a little bit. He's got into that college rock phase.
Yeah. So Jimmy Eat World, and I'm sorry, that's probably more our college style stuff.
No, he actually knows that.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Cooper is a 45-year-old man trapped in a 20-year-old body.
Makes sense.
So, but that's where that came from.
Okay. So, any future plans? Go ahead. Any future plans to jump back into, I guess, more of a full piece band? I know Kim's busy. He's got some projects going on in Tupelo. I found that out vicariously because we had some same engineers drawing up plans. We're delving into Tupelo as well. So I know he's busy, but I mean, are you looking to? I know I saw a video the other night on Facebook. You were auditioning a new lead vocalist.
Yeah, our
for
dog,
your trio.
Yeah, our dog Eve was auditioning for our trio. We always talk about it. We would love to do it. Practice time presents a problem now. Booking gigs presents a problem. I do foresee it happening again in the future. I've been begging Cooper. I'm like, hey man, get us on the fraternity circuit. We can mop up if we can do that. But if you guys don't know who Cooper is, he has this big personality. He's a very stoic.
He stands out in every room. I mean, when he enters, he demands attention. And if he doesn't get it, he will cause a scene.
Yeah. No, he's super stoic. So him being a booking agent probably not in the cards for the
Someone
band.
would have to beat him down to come play. It's not what he would. I can't even see him going to someone like, would you like us to play? If someone said, hey, do you want to play music? I don't know.
Look, he's never turned anything down. So if you're out there and you're watching and you need a phenomenal guitarist and a halfway decent rhythm section behind him to play at your place, let us know.
Yeah.
Ask him to play. He would love to play. We'll love to back him up. But he loves. What's great about him is he doesn't care if he's playing in front of 2 people or 2,000 people. It doesn't faze him. He plays music for himself. Like, he really loves to play music. And it's not a performance for him. It's not a, hey, look at me. It is just, I love doing this, and I'm going to do it.
It's just a bonus if you make a little money that night.
Yeah, the money is the bonus. If people like it, it's a bonus.
Yeah,
he really doesn't care. Honestly, though, I don't think he really cares if you like it or not. He's just, he loves it, and so. And we still never really try to tell him how good he is because I don't want him to stop. I just want to see how much further he can go.
Well, at this point, it's the status quo, though. If you start bragging on him now, then he might mess with his psyche and think something's wrong all of a sudden.
Again, I've been playing guitar since I was 13, so that was about 80 years ago. And in my time of playing guitar, he is one of the top 3 guitar players I have ever played with.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that because he's my kid. It's just the truth.
Well, I guess, the next question is, with your financial services and stuff, like we joked about earlier, like what's the next phase for you? We've gone, through the gambit. We had Rockstar in there for a while too, and now you're fully delving into the financial services part of it. But when you go from like a single operator, I'm your only client, you're clearly not getting rich off of me and the peanuts I'm throwing at you, to now you're running your own office with multiple agents and you're, branching out into other counties and things like that. Is that empire keep growing, or what does that look like?
Yeah. So first off, again, shameless plug. We do holistic financial planning. So what that looks at is it's not transactional. Yes, we try to grow your money, but we also try to come up with a plan of what is the money for? How do we make sure it's there when you need it? How do you distribute it once you get it? Do you have a plan in place to protect it? Do you have an estate plan? I still wear my attorney hat every once in a while. I do a little bit of legal work affiliated with
Don't
the
I know
financial
it?
services.
Don't I know it?
But what we're looking to do is expand our footprint into Northeast Mississippi and even Central Mississippi and South Mississippi. We're trying to grow into about 100 representatives throughout the state.
Okay.
We're currently at about 37, 38, something like that. So we're slowly branching out. We've got several representatives here in Amory or Monroe County area now. We're looking for Columbus, Clay. I'm working with some guys in Lafayette County, Pontotoc County. Anywhere that I can get to within an hour to an hour and a half where I can train you and talk to you, I'm interested. And so I'm going to try to keep expanding until they tell me to stop expanding.
Is there any turf limitations? Like, I know there's other people that do this in other areas close by. Is it like a Scranton, Binghamton turf, Syracuse, or is it one of those things where you don't step on the other paper reps turf, or what?
Not really. We try to be mindful of the fact that, depending on what the population is, it can only support so many reps. So we don't want to dump, 15 reps in Monroe County because then you start cannibalizing one another.
Natural selection.
Yeah, well, that's true. The cream rises to the top.
As the Macho Man says. I'm just saying, that's one of my favorite promos of all time. The cream always rises to the top. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's true. But as far as like getting into other counties, you kind of think about this. What are there, 30,000 people in Monroe County? Something like that?
Well, based on my interactions on Facebook last week, it feels like a lot more than that. So just say it.
There's more people that are interested in Monroe County.
Okay, okay. All right, in Monroe County, probably 30,000. Surrounding areas interested in what's going on in Monroe County, it's in the millions at least.
Yeah, so it's true. So 30,000 people in Monroe County. I probably have about 500 clients. Okay. Some of the folks in my office, they probably have in the neighborhood of 50 to 100 clients. So if you put that into perspective, there's 5 of us in Monroe County spread in different parts of Monroe County, not just in Amory. But we haven't even begun to scratch the surface of just Monroe County. So if you employ that logic into Lee County, into Lafayette County, into Pontotoc County, into Lowndes County that have larger populations, I really think it would be very difficult to begin to cannibalize each other anytime soon. So, again, I'm going to keep growing until they tell me to stop. Okay.
And then when they tell you to stop, you launch your own independent agency. And then, okay, we're not going to say that because then that could become, okay, so they'll use that against you.
No, that's when Brad retires and becomes a full-time musician. That's the plan.
Independently wealthy full-time musician at the frat houses every weekend. That sounds like a lifestyle I could get behind.
Sounds like Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He'll be doing that before he's coaching again for a while. But yeah, no. Well, if you guys ever need a roadie or a manager or a backup vocalist, you let me know. I'm ready to scoop up what you guys drop behind.
Sure. Sure.
I'm just saying. So if you guys ever need some extra help with the talent, let me know. I'm here to fill in for you guys.
I gotcha.
Really, I mean, for the most part, I would say, I mean, when you talk about your music, because I would say I've had multiple careers in my life. I've had multiple jobs. You know, I've gone from water department, local buy. I've worked at DirecTV and AT&T, up in corporate leadership and training and development, to owning a burger restaurant. And I've always loved music, been passionate about music, but I've never really stepped into the music world. What kind of music influences? I mean, I know you said you're playing a lot of stuff now that Cooper's there that you can play a lot of the fun stuff. I'm very familiar with the Brown Eyed Girls and things like that because, again, that's the kind of level I'm on as well. But when you're talking about, you know, musical influences and stuff you like, and the things that really kind of molded you, I know for me personally, growing up, my teens, that genre of music that I was listening to at that time has just stuck with me the rest of my life. That's kind of like my safe space. If I'm ever in a funk, I can turn on whatever. I'm going to get emo music, whatever it is. Bee Gees,
okay.
Beach Boys, Dashboard Confessional, whatever kind of sad music you want to listen to, I'm all for it. So I would say, you know, if you had to pick some that really heavily influenced, like stylistically, the music, or even stuff you like to do, what are you going into?
So first off, let me preface it with this. So the music that Urple plays is Kilman Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
So like that hard rock, heavy metal stuff, I love it. It's fun, but that's really not my background whatsoever. So I've had to teach myself some of that stuff. I really enjoy it now, but that's not necessarily what I would have been listening to in the pickup truck,
Okay.
you know, riding around. So I was born in 1978. So I was a little kid in the 80s. So I was a teenager in the 90s. And so that whole late 80s pop, hard rock, Guns N' Roses type stuff, that was really popular when I was a kid. And then when I got to be a teenager, you know, grunge hit the scene. So of course Nirvana, and you know, you got Soundgarden, you've got all of the 90s stuff.
Man,
I
so
love
good.
all that stuff. But probably my biggest influence as far as like what I played on guitar, and people are going to be like, was the Eagles. So
It's solid. It's solid though.
Yeah. So the Eagles. My dad was a big Eagles fan.
Mine too.
And
Alabama and the Eagles. Gerald Wayne Pate. If there was two bands that he had to listen to the rest of his life, it would be Alabama. And I'm telling you right now, that tape, the cassette tape, there's no way by Alabama. Lord have mercy, that song got played on repeat on anywhere we'd go in the car. The little auto rewind button back to it. There's no way by Alabama and anything by the Eagles. I mean, he had a road trip with a bunch of the old guys from the golf course and went and saw him in Little Rock at one point. But you're saying the Eagles.
So my dad had the Pioneer floor system.
Oh.
You know? Okay, so he had the Pioneer floor system when it had a turntable. So all of the music that he had was pretty much on albums. But what we would do is we would play the album and then record the album onto one of the blank cassette tapes. And so you could record whatever songs you wanted to record off the albums onto this cassette.
A true mixtape.
A true mixtape. And kids now have no idea what that is.
No,
but anyway.
God, they don't even know what CDs are anymore.
I would make these mixtapes of my favorite Eagles songs. And I was telling Cooper not too long ago, like, man, you don't realize how good you've got it. You've got YouTube, and they'll teach you actually how to play the songs. And you can watch this person, like, put their fingers on the fretboard. I was like, when I was a kid, like, you'd listen to an Eagles song, and you just rewind it and listen to it again. And be like, okay, I think he's doing this. And then rewind it and listen to it again, I think he's doing this. And then, like, on PBS, you would see, like, some video of them doing the song live, and, like, what you had learned was, like, completely wrong. And they were doing it some other way. But, yeah, the Eagles, so I have more of I'm not going to say I'm a country guy, but, like, I have more of that country rock influence in me. I ran into a guy that was a good friend of mine that introduced me to Led Zeppelin. So I was like 10 or 15 years behind where I would have been.
Your musical curve, yeah.
So Led Zeppelin, Eagles, I really like CCR. So that kind of bled through. But then when I got to be a teenager, the grunge thing really hit me really hard. And one of the reasons why is you don't have to solo. Name me 5 solos in grunge music in the 90s.
You can't. I mean, you start getting to the late 90s, you start talking about maybe some Audio Slave, which isn't really grunge anymore. But, I mean, you start talking about, they would go on some riffs and stuff, but again, when you're talking about true grunge era, you're talking about, like you said, Kurt Cobain, and, I mean, he was a good guitarist as well. But I can't think of a ton, like you said, of just solo, just shred moments. It went from that 80s hair metal to where everybody, 12 strings, 2-head guitars and stuff, and just crazy shreds, to it became more about the lyrics and the melodies and the message behind and the sadness and all that other stuff, back into a little bit of that rock and showing off the talents. And I think of the Creeds and the Tremontis and people who just really just let it go. So...
Well, I would try to when we were playing in Urple, we would have nights where, like, okay, what new songs? I mean, we've got like an 85 song repertoire.
That's ridiculous.
And so we would introduce new songs about every time we would practice. And of course, they would ask me from time to time, like, what do you want to do? And I would name some song from the 90s or whatever. And they'd be like, you always name like sad music. Like, we don't want to play sad music. Nobody wants to hear sad music. And I'm like, yes, they do.
Yes, we do. I promise you we do.
They really do. Like, it's super popular.
I enjoy when you guys would throw the Dire Straits on, you know. I enjoy those things. Money ain't nothing. The kicks for free. I get it. Dire Straits and all the good stuff you guys have. But ain't nothing wrong with throwing a little sad music in there. Because you know what happens when the sad stuff comes on? The women pay attention.
They do. And
the more girls you can get to an establishment,
they do,
the better your odds are of meeting someone. So although I can appreciate the comedy, the rock, and all the other good stuff, there's room for sad music in live shows.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. And, one funny story, we were playing at a venue called Dave's Dark Horse in Starkville.
God's Country.
You may be familiar.
God's Country.
Yeah, I mean, I had to take a really good shower.
I'm not disagreeing with that. It's still God's Country. It's a filthy establishment. I say that in jest, Dave.
No.
If you ever want to,
no, it's a wonderful place. We actually, that's one of our favorite places to play. Pizza is excellent too, by the way.
Pizza is great there. Pizza is great there.
So we've played there several times, but one of the times we played there, Cooper has never realized the power in a guitar. If you understand what I'm saying.
If he knew how to wield it, it's like He-Man's sword. You got to know how to wield it to get the power. But I'm just saying, yes, in the proper hands, knowing the power, yes.
And he's in a very happy relationship right now with a very sweet young lady.
And he would never abuse that power.
He would never abuse the power. But one night we were playing there, and a sorority came in.
Uh-oh.
And if you're not familiar with Dave's, there is no stage. Like the band is on the floor with all of the patrons.
Yes.
And they are right in your face. Like they can bend around and sing into the microphone with you if they want to. And so Cooper was just sawing the head off of his guitar on some kind of solo, and like these 2 or 3 sorority girls just start dancing up on him while he's playing a solo, and he just kind of slowly backs away as he's playing, and like looks with this nervous look at me, and I'm like asking him like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
and,
live in the moment.
Yeah, be in the moment, man. And so after the song was over with, I was like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I didn't know what they were trying to do." I'm like, "They're just having a good time, man.
That's it.
They're just having a good time.
Nothing personal.
Like they just enjoyed watching you play guitar." But
yeah,
if he ever figures out the power, we're all in trouble.
I would think. Yeah, well, there's not gonna be any left for us. Well,
Yeah,
you're
that's
married.
true.
You're happily
Yes.
married. So
Yeah,
never mind.
yeah.
Not that you need any. Well, I'm divorced and single, so there's not many left for guys like me. So Cooper, I hope you stay in your relationship forever and never figure out the He-Man's sword. I may be showing my age there too, because there's a new He-Man movie out. And so, like I said, if He-Man didn't find his sword, he was never able to wield the powers of He-Man and all that other stuff. So, Cooper, I hope you never figure out that sword that you can wield. But all that to say, I mean, so Brad and I talk occasionally about music and work and things like that through text. And so I was leaning on him pretty hard last week about a part-time job selling holistic financial services. And he very politely told me there's no world in which I could work part-time for him. So if for some reason the burger restaurant ever goes under, or I find myself ran out of town with pitchforks and torches and things, it's nice to know there's a backup plan out there where I may be able to take care of people's money.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely, especially if your business fails. Everybody would trust you with your money.
You know what?
If your business fails.
We could come up with some good story why it failed, other than mismanagement by me. I'm wholly capable of managing a burger restaurant, but I didn't know. No one ever tells you, as someone who's owned their own business, whether it's the attorney or this and that, but no one ever tells you. It's always the upside of owning your own business. They never tell you about, the taxes or the insurance or managing employees and personalities and what, food costs or labor costs and all these other things. So when you're selling $3 and $4 hamburgers and cheeseburgers, you don't realize no one gets rich off a $3 hamburger. It's not about It's not about the quality of the burger you can sell, because that's how I feel. It's got to be a quality product. It's about the quantity. And so, with McDonald's, their margins may be razor slim, but they're selling trillions of hamburgers, so it's easier to make the money there.
Let me make a point real quick on, and this will probably tie into the attorney side of things as well as politics. When I took office as mayor, Facebook had been a thing, but it wasn't just like a big thing.
No.
It had just sort of become that.
Yeah.
It was really for teenagers and college kids.
Correct.
And
socialize in that way.
To socialize. And that was sort of what it was still when I took office, but then it slowly morphed into something more than, similar to what it is now, but not near as bad as it is now. But I started trying to use the platform more for a transparency tool for the city, and I tried to post a good bit, try to put information out there. I tried to be relatable, put personal information on there so people could relate to the person, not the job.
No.
But I think running a business and being in politics is 100 times more difficult in today's culture, in society, because we all have millions of judgmental patrons that are willing and ready to post negative information on social media accounts, and they do so without thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's almost like
reactionary.
It's reactionary. It's based in emotion. It's not based in logic. It's not based in reason. And a lot of times they haven't done any research on what it is they're talking about. They're operating off of hearsay, and what they don't understand is they are directly impacting the livelihood of somebody's life. I mean that's that. They may be taking somebody's food off the table for their kids, based upon what they're saying on some platform to make them feel better about themselves.
Yeah.
Some people have authentic complaints. Hey, I didn't like this. I'm just posting this to maybe get that changed, so maybe it won't be bad for anybody else.
Which is entirely valid.
Absolutely.
Entirely valid.
I validate that.
I appreciate feedback.
Yeah, but some people just enjoy tearing other people down.
Correct.
It becomes sort of like a hobby or a pastime to get on social media and just be like, hey, I'm going to destroy this business today, or their doorbell didn't ring right when I rang the doorbell, or it just, we create problems. Like, we have first world problems now that we don't have enough real problems. We have to create them and then blame other people about it on Facebook.
Yeah.
And so that's what turned the hair white.
I mean, no one's perfect. And again, like you said, I appreciate feedback. I appreciate any and everyone who comes in this restaurant, good or bad experience. I appreciate it all. I appreciate all the feedback anyone can give. I appreciate anything we can improve on. When I bought this place, the first few things I told my staff, in which for those who don't know, when I bought this place, I'd never owned a restaurant. So the first year of owning this place was me figuring things out. So if you had a bad experience in the 2023, early 2024, I sincerely apologize. Come back. Things are exponentially better than they were when I first bought the place. But when I first bought the place, there was a lot of learning on the fly, but at the same time, there was a lot of repairing the reputation from the previous 5-6 years where things had just been up and down and inconsistent. So the thing I preached the most to my staff then was, we're going to serve a quality product that is consistent every time. It can't be, what are we going to get when we come? Every time you come here, whether it's me cooking or my other cooks, it has to be a Bill's hamburger. It can't be, is it going to be this time, or this time, or when he cooks it's like this and she cooks it can't be that. It's got to be consistent and quality every time. And like you said, it's one of those deals where it's a gift and a curse, because you want the attention on social media and you want the interaction with people, because I love talking to people. That's why I'm in this business. I love talking to people. I love people coming and sitting down at the bar and hanging out and interacting. But when it's weaponized, and that's the part that it serves no one. It does all. The only person it serves is the person who wants the attention. And unfortunately, there are people out there like that. And so for me, I had to learn in the first year or two of doing this is that you just can't win them all. Yeah. And sometimes you just got to leave it alone and move on to someone next time and someone next time and someone next time. But really what I've tried to focus on is appreciate the ones that do come and speak positively and post something positively, because that's the silent majority. Sure. As it is with anything else in this world. The silent majority rarely speaks up. That's why it's the silent majority, and it's the 1%ers of people who just want to see people's businesses harmed or the world burn or whatever it is, that's usually who you have to interact with in those instances. So when I do get someone from that silent majority, or I can change the opinion of someone who had a negative experience, whether it's refunding their money or making them something new, and whatever it is I can do to make a situation right, I'm happy to do it. I've just had to realize over time that those 1%ers are going to be those 1%ers, and when I do get a chance to interact with that silent majority, I take full advantage of it. I let them know how appreciated they are, and just move on from there. But yeah, I can imagine. As you were saying,
I think people don't realize that it's the real world. Like I think a lot of times when you're posting on social media, and I will say this, and I hate to just be bad mouthing people, but I don't know who you are. But a lot of times the negative accounts, have you ever noticed that it's always not their picture? Like, and it may be some of them may be bots, but some of them are real people, but they don't have their actual pictures. They'll have a picture of a cat or a cartoon.
I see a fair amount of that.
Or believe it or not, a cross seems to be on a lot of people's.
I've had a few of those over the last week or two.
Yeah, and that's always interesting. Somebody just berating and bad mouthing a business or an individual, and they got a cross as their profile pic. But I think to piggyback off that too is we're living in an instant gratification world now too.
Correct.
Which has a direct impact on businesses like mine. Being a lawyer or being a financial services representative or whatever you do with money. None of that happens quickly.
No.
Like that's all a long game. I used to tell people that would come in and hire me as an attorney if they watched Law and Order, and they're like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Well, forget all that."
Yeah.
Like I said,
we're not going to wrap this up in 30 minutes.
I said, the thing in Law and Order where it goes don't don't.
Yep.
And I'm like, don't really stands for like 6 months.
Yes.
Like when you hear the don't, just imagine that's 6 months.
Yeah.
Right. So nothing really happens very quickly like that, and it can really grate on the attorney when the client just is consistently and we know that what we're dealing with is probably the most important thing to you at that moment in time. But some things, again, are out of our control from a timing issue. Same thing with financial services, kind of on the opposite side of things. The market goes up, the market goes down.
Yeah.
And so if you're an instant gratification minded person, you see the market go down, you're like, oh my gosh, the sky's falling. I'm like, no. We talked about this long term. We talked about this over the next 10 to 15 years. I can demonstrate historically that it's on the rise if you can just be patient.
If you zoom out enough and look at the big picture, you'll notice in that huge climb over the last 20 years, there have been thousands of little dips.
Yeah.
But overall trajectory is going up.
Absolutely. But it's hard to explain that to somebody that they can get on their bank account and immediately check it. They can get on Twitter. They can immediately find a piece of news. They can scroll on their phone and find whatever piece of information they can find in a matter of seconds. And so we're living in an instant gratification network of society that has access to their own press conference anytime they want it on social media. Candy and I were talking just this weekend about, is more me talking, not her.
Yes.
But I said, I really do miss the 90s. And for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Music, number one. But do you remember the feeling of Friday in junior high?
Oh, yeah.
Riding the bus home or maybe walking home or whatever it was.
I was definitely a bus rider for the record.
Okay, I was
big
bus
time,
rider.
big
All
time.
right, so riding the bus home, and it's Friday afternoon. You got two buddies that are riding the bus home with you that are going to spend the night. And your mom's going to take you guys to movie gallery or Blockbuster, and you're going to get to run a movie, and then
pick up a couple pizzas on the way home.
Pick up some pizzas, grab a Nintendo game.
Ooh.
And that's what your weekend looked like. And I was trying to explain that feeling to Cooper not too long ago. I was like, you will never know that feeling.
Nope.
I said it was just like this.
That sounds like an anxiety-riddled weekend for the kids nowadays because they don't have their devices. They don't have that instant gratification of whatever. It's just they don't have it in the front of their face. So now it's just like, well, what am I going to do with myself? And they have to be alone,
and they talked to one. We talked to our friends in person, vocally. And that just doesn't seem to be happening any longer either. But now I sound like an old man complaining about.
Well, they do need
way back when.
These kids do need to get off our lawns. For the record, my grass has never looked worse. But all that to say, so the way we close out here at With or Without is I'm going to give you a list of things. Maybe a small list, maybe a big list, and all you got to do is tell me whether you can go with or without this.
Okay.
So it's going to be item. I can go with or without it, and if you want to, give a little extra on that. So let's just say like pineapple on pizza.
I can go with it.
With it?
With it.
So you're a fan.
I'm a fan.
That's a hot take,
Yeah.
just for the record. I also am a fan, situationally, like pineapple, ham, bacon, chicken, things like that, a Hawaiian pizza.
Yeah.
I don't want it on every pizza. So,
So I went through a period of time where you're gonna like this. I went through a period of time where I was a vegan.
oh, God. I knew you were a sadist. I knew it on some level between all these public officials and, like, working with the public. That I had no doubt you were a masochist.
I mean, obviously,
we've
that
cured
period
you.
of time is over.
We've
yeah.
cured you. But, yeah, no, that sounds terrible.
But I used to get these vegan pizzas, so it was it was
cauliflower.
Yeah, it's cauliflower crust pizza, and then it would have the red sauce, but everything on it was vegetable, and so you get your kicks by putting the pineapple on there. So I loved it. But yeah, that's kind of what turned me on to having the pineapple on the pizza. So since the veganism ended,
okay.
I still like pineapple on the pizza.
All right, so something good came out of that phase of life then.
Sure.
Okay. All right, so matcha. Do you know what that is?
Without it, it tastes like dirt. Like it's like I've fallen down on some woodland trail and with my mouth open and have hit the ground and dirt has just come inside.
So these girls at work, I have a couple guys and a lot of girls that work for me. A couple of my daughters do as well, and everyone in this building, girl wise, is on this big matcha kick. And of course, we're right across the street, for those who don't know, from the coffee pot here in town, and apparently they make a great matcha. Lori and Chris, hats off to you. You made it taste good somehow to these girls. And they say it's green tea based. The only kind of green tea I can drink is the one from the gas station, Gold Peak or whatever it is. Sponsorship opportunity, Golden Peak, by the way. And it's got like 8,000 grams of sugar in it. Yeah. So that's the only way I can drink it. It's got to be that. So this matcha phase that the world is going on, I'm out.
For transparency, I have never had a matcha that Lori or Chris
Lori
have
and Chris,
made.
if you want us to review matchas for you, provide us with a couple. And I don't know if you want that to happen, though, because if it's bad, I'm just going to have to tell you it's bad. And it's not any indication of your matcha. It's just me personally. I'm out. All right, so I guess the next with or without non-diet soft drinks.
I can do without. I don't remember the last time I had a non-diet soft drink.
I'm going to have to disagree with you on that one.
Yeah. It just, and I know the artificial sweeteners are just as bad for you as the
supposedly.
Sugar. But so I'm drinking.
Yeah.
I'm drinking Diet
Yeah,
Mountain Dew
that was
right
a
now.
smart transition by me there. That was calculated.
Yeah.
So we've got a Pepsi branded glass with Diet Mountain Dew in it, but I'm drinking a imported, because I'm fancy that way, pinkies up, imported glass bottle Coca-Cola with real sugar in it. I'm not here to say whether Pepsi or Coke tastes better, whichever pays us next.
Yeah.
Just tastes better. This Pepsi logo can easily be changed out Coca-Cola. So
you can set my hair on fire anytime you want to.
Yes,
for the right amount
Pepsi.
Of money. Yeah.
I don't know why Mike had a problem with you guys. It was a little singeing, a little tinging, and not like it altered his career in any way. So, yeah, we'll be up for a stunt like that. 100%.
But yeah, I don't remember the last time I call them fully leaded. I don't remember the last time I had a fully leaded soft drink.
Okay. Well, I mean, is there anything in particular that got you? Was it one of those health kicks at the time? You're like, diet's better for me, so I'm going to try it?
You know, I never have been a real big soft drink drinker anyway.
Oh, okay.
And then when I got married, Candy was really big into Diet Mountain Dew.
It seems to bring the worst in all of us out.
So Diet Mountain Dew became my go-to. And then I'll drink a Diet Dr. Pepper. I enjoy that. But that's about, I mean, yeah, it's usually 0 calories, 0 sugar.
Diet Dr. Pepper, that just reminded me. So a friend of mine, I'll call her a friend, Kristen, who was up here earlier tonight. I've never met a more Diet Dr. Pepper addict in my life. She will have a fresh can, that crack in that can, she'll take 2 sips. It'll sit there for 10 or 15 minutes. She'll go crack a new can. Can't have anything remotely lukewarm. If it's lost the slightest bit of fizz, nothing burns like a pepper. And it's just like, got to have that fresh cracked one.
I will say
crazy.
The best Diet Dr. Pepper is a fountain drink Diet Dr. Pepper. That's the best.
Which we have at Bill's Hamburgers. Another shameless plug, by the way. We have Pepsi and Coke products. You want it, we got it. So, all right. So another hot take, and this is in an opportunity to be a hot take. This is in the carbonated beverage genre. So you kind of already answered this question. Root beer, with or without?
With.
Oh, that's shocking. How can
Yeah.
you never really drank sodas,
Yeah.
but you're with root beer, which is like the worst soda of
So-
all the sodas?
So it's you're gonna feel bad.
Oh
about it.
wait,
you're
no,
gonna feel
I know
bad.
why. I
you're
know
gonna-
why you like it. Go ahead.
No. I want to hear why you think I like it.
Because you like black licorice, the worst licorice of all time too. And so this is basically the black licorice of soda. Brad loves a few things in his life that I know about: his wife, his dog, his son, black licorice, and circus peanuts. Those are one of the like 5 things I know this man loves, and now I understand.
It's all true. No, the root beer comes from my grandmother because I can remember being a kid and her having she called it sarsaparilla, which I think is a whole other thing. But what it was is it was the glass bottle root beers, and so I would drink those and I really enjoyed those. I don't drink it that much now. When I do, it's zero sugar root beer.
Grandma would be disappointed for the record.
She probably would, yeah.
She'd call that sissy soda. Okay, so I would finish this out with the last with or without, but I kind of spoiled it. But like the disgusting candies of the world, black licorice, circus peanuts, chickle sticks, things like that. I'm assuming.
Okay, all right. So the black licorice started from.
For the record, you're with on those things.
I'm
big
with.
with.
I'm a big with on black licorice, circus peanuts. I'm okay on chicken sticks.
Ugh.
All right.
Okay, you might have redeemed 10% there.
So the black licorice came from black jelly beans at Easter time, because I was never very good at finding Easter eggs.
Yeah. So are you that kid that hunts them and then as you find it, you open it and eat the candy while everybody's just gathering eggs? You're one at a time.
Okay, so you're close.
Okay.
The problem is I never found the eggs.
Okay.
So kids would feel sorry for me
Oh, my
and give me
God.
some of the candy out of their eggs.
You eat the trash candy. So
trash.
you just grew an affinity for the trash candy because you never had any better.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
So
Brad.
the black licorice came from black jelly bean. The circus peanuts, everybody disagrees with me, but if you like bubble gum, circus peanuts to me taste just like old-fashioned bubble gum.
What kind of gum were you chewing?
I don't know, but I don't know what it is. I love them. Chicken sticks are okay. I do have candies I don't like. Would you like to know?
You have like Snickers, M&Ms, Hershey.
I really don't like the trash candy that at Halloween that's wrapped in the black and orange paper.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
it's
peanut
like
butter taffy
peanut
or
butter.
whatever.
Yeah, no, that's garbage too.
I don't like
that's
that.
That's surprising.
Not real big on butterscotch.
I do like butterscotch.
I do like I don't even know if they make these anymore. The strawberry candies that are wrapped to look like a
they have
strawberry.
like a gooey strawberry center.
Yeah, I like those. But that's about it. I usually tell people if they are wanting to know my dietary restrictions, I'm like, there's really only 2 things I don't eat. It's chicken liver and buttermilk.
Buttermilk cornbread.
Buttermilk anything's fine.
Okay.
I just can't drink it.
Deep fried chicken livers.
No, I try it about every 3 or 4 years just to make sure.
Just to make sure your retention level is at 0.
I can't do it.
All right. Well, all that being said, I appreciate you coming on today.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate you with the pilot episode. We're going to circle back on some of this stuff. May get you on again sometime. What we need to do for the record is get you, Kim, and Cooper in here, and then the last 10, 15 minutes of this podcast, set you up a little 3-piece band section back here and give you an opportunity to really show off your talents on propping Cooper up.
Awesome. Yeah, show off our talents, which is Cooper.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
I like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man, we'd love to do that.
All right.
Sure.
Well, again, I appreciate you coming on. This has been With or Without, and we'll see you guys later.